Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay Spruill, Movies, Music, Sports, and Life. I'm live down in Houston, Texas. Uh, Basically came down to see my young cousin. They have a very nice place out in the suburbs, so I'll be here through Labor Day. Coming back home on Labor Day, but want to get into this. I guess you could call it accusations, but the reality of it is that the videos that are in question did take place. It just seems like all evidence of the videos no longer exists. And if you look at the thumbnail of my video, that thumbnail, that is Tiffany Haddish, and then that is Aries Spears inserting a pudding pop into her mouth. And you can tell Tiffany Haddish looks uncomfortable because even if she laughed about it afterwards in the moment, I know it was uncomfortable because it wasn't a funny joke. It was basically a joke that Bill Cosby is a serial abuser of women, and that's what was supposed to be funny about it, is that he's America's dad, but this is how he really is. So if Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears could make a video that's sexually suggestive but also was not funny, it should not stretch your imagination very much, or you should not have to stretch your imagination a lot to know that they could do something like that with a 14-year-old girl with a 7-year-old boy and think it was funny. And I know for a fact that it was uploaded on a site called Funny or Die, which is something that Adam McKay and Will Ferrell started together over 12 years ago. So we talking, it's like 2010. And I went back, I combed through the entire history of Funny or Die videos, and believe it or not, there's only one video left that has Tiffany Haddish on it. It's some type of parody of Game of Thrones, and every single video that Aries Spears ever put up on Funny or Die is gone. So there's a two-part thing here. Do I believe that that they actually did those videos that might have exploited the then 14-year-old girl and the then 7-year-old boy? Yes, 100%. Why? Okay, so that's not absolving them of responsibility. That's not absolving Funny or Die, any of the adults that were involved in. My issue and my repeated question, if it's really about protecting our kids, why do these lawsuits continue to come out when people are adults? If it's really about protecting women, why do these lawsuits against Bill Cosby come out when these women are 60 years old? And we talking about stuff that happened to them when they was 20. How come it wasn't important then? So I think we get into fake narratives when we talk about we got to protect our kids, we got to protect women from sexual predators, if you're not acting on it right then and there. You can't claim that you have the best interests of women or kids in mind, and then the only time these allegations surface and the only time you're willing to act on these allegations and try to get some justice is when you want to put some pressure or some heat on somebody that was involved. We don't know what Bill Cosby said or did to anger or piss somebody off in Hollywood, but we do know out of nowhere these women who have been silent for 40 years, now all of a sudden there's 30 women saying, yeah, he sexually abused me. Why wasn't it important when he did it? And same thing goes for Aries Spears. If you look at it logically through a timeline, he fat shamed. You know, we're in a different world now with when it comes to mental health and different stuff and online bullying. There is a lot of stuff that we don't tolerate anymore that we used to tolerate and laugh about. So just calling Lizzo just fat out of the blue for no reason, you know, once again, it's consistent with what happened with the little boy and the little girl. It's not even funny. You know, just calling Lizzo fat is not funny. And if that's the extent of your comedy and your talent, then I feel bad for you, Aries Spears. But at the same time, do I feel like he should be drugged into a child endangerment trial and his freedom is potentially at risk because he insulted Lizzo? Y'all see where I'm going with this? It just does not add up. That something that happened this many years ago, now all of a sudden it's important. Because he fat shamed a celebrity, now it's important what potentially happened with a little boy and a little girl. We got to get some priorities, and we got to make sure that our priorities fit what's necessary and what's prudent and what's logical. And no longer should we be in situations where you can just pop up with a lawsuit because you want to or because you want to put pressure on somebody for something that they did or said.